day 6 of running 10k a day for 30 days. Today I'm going to talk about what I think makes a great dad. And you're probably asking, what makes you qualified, Chris? I think people can only give their opinions. So these are my thoughts and my opinions on what I think makes a great dad. So this is an interesting question because there's so many facets to it that there's not any one thing that makes a great dad. And it's important not to confuse being a great dad with being perfect, because those two things are totally different. Because even if you cock up and you shout at your kids, if you take the time to apologise and explain why you went wrong, there's a lesson, and I think that makes a great dad too. I also think if you're the person who worries about whether you're a good dad or a great dad or not, you're probably moving towards the fact that you are a good dad, because part of what makes somebody good at anything is self-awareness and having a point of reflection and thinking about it. Another key trait to being a good dad is how much time do you invest in actually learning about being a dad and different parenting styles, about how your kids develop. Personally, I will always read books on parenting, whether that's Kate Hilton, There's No Such Thing as Naughty, or Unconditional Parenting by Alfie Kohn. The Whole Brain Child, which is about how your kids develop. Making a conscious effort to understand what you could do differently is also important. And that's how I shaped my opinions and my views on what I think a great dad is and the kind of dad that I want to be as well. It also helps you understand why kids behave certain ways, which means it's easier to behave in ways that I want to behave. For example, know that my 4-year-old's prefrontal cortex isn't fully developed. So even though I tell my son not to swing on his chair 5 times in the same meal, and then he does it again, it's not because he doesn't respect me or he doesn't want to do what I say. It's because physiologically his brain isn't developed to truly compute and to understand. A great dad takes time to be truly present with his kids, and this is challenging in the modern day because we've got our phones in our pockets which are full of distractions. We get phantom vibrations and think that we need to check emails or we need to check our messages, or we get caught up doom scrolling. And it's hard. No one's immune to it. Most people will do it at some point. But the message it sends to our kids is our phones are more important than them, which you and I both know isn't true. And it's easy for us to justify that in that moment, what we're doing on our phone is important. But the way around it is to just put your phone in another room, put it in a drawer, turn it off, don't have it on you. The result I found is I enjoy the time with my kids more when I do that. The dads that I work with, when they put that into play and they do that, they have a better time with their kids. But where their kid has more connection, they build a better relationship. And they find that their kid is less difficult. I truly believe when kids are being difficult or they're giving parents a hard time, the parents aren't having a hard time. The kid is having a hard time for whatever reason. Whether they're anxious, or they're at school, or something's playing on their kid's mind, or the kid's just not getting attention from their parents. A lot of it stems down to that. But one thing that makes a great dad is being truly present with their kid in whatever it is that they're doing with their kid. Then you've got the element of a great dad is a great role model. But what does that mean? And what is a great role model? You need to take the time to think about that and think about what that means to you and your family. But here's what that means to me. I want to show my son how a man should act, how a man should behave, and how a man should treat others, including his family and especially his wife. And I need to show my daughter how a man should treat her, others, and especially how a man should treat their wife. For me, that's incredibly important. So I don't think a great dad is just about the relationship between the dad and the child. It's also between the dad and others around them. Even if the parents are split up and divorced and it's a co-parenting gig, that's fine, but you still need to show your kid's mum the respect that you would want them to be shown in that same situation. Because the foundation of happiness lies on the quality of the relationships that person has. A great dad will do what they tell their kids to do. So they tell the kids not to have too much screen time, to go outside and play, to eat their fruit and veg, don't eat too much sugar, don't eat too much junk, respect their bedtime, go to bed at a decent hour. A great dad should do that too for themselves. If you're asking your kid to do something, you need to make sure you do the same. It's easy to say, I'm different, I'm an adult, I don't need to do that, but why? That's not sending your kids a good message. If something is important for your kid to do, it's important for you to do as well. And so obviously I'm going to talk about taking the time to look after yourself, put your needs first as well. Fill your cup up so you've got a bigger cup to pour into your kid's cup and into your partner's cup. Your kids need to see that. And I think that comes down to personal growth as well. Choosing challenges that you might not be able to do, but you commit to and you talk to your kids about. Personally for me, a few thoughts I have about parenting. My children didn't ask to be born. My wife and I wanted kids, so I owe them everything. They don't owe me a thing. When they're adults, they're their own people. I need to make sure that the way I parent, they want to spend time with me when they're adults. Because they don't have to. They're not obligated to. I just need to do my best so that in 20 years' time, they want to come home to Katie and I and spend Christmas with us. I often think about a book that I've read a lot called Unconditional Parenting by Alfie Kohn. And he says kids need unconditional love. And that's how they thrive. And it's an interesting concept, which I agree with. Because if you ask any parent, do you unconditionally love your kid? I think a lot of parents will say, yeah, I do, but their actions might not line up to it. As an example, your kid refuses to put a coat on when they go outside despite it being cold. And you're like, well, if you don't wear your coat, you're going to get cold. I'm not going to bring it for you. I'm not going to carry it for you. Like, I get it. Your kid's made that decision. They need to suffer those natural consequences. But it's not a natural consequence. Because you're an adult. We're the dads. We can carry that coat for them. Yes, it's annoying, but they're kids. They don't know what's best. And it's easy for us to forget the coat and not bring it. But actually, the unconditional love thing would suggest that it doesn't matter. You take that coat with you because you know they're going to need it. And what message does that send to a kid? That you've got their back. Because they'll get cold like 5 minutes into the walk and you'll be like, here's your coat. You know, you don't mention it. You don't say, I told you so. That's like a dick thing to do. You just say, here's your coat. And they won't say anything because they're little. Their egos won't let them. And that's okay. But they'll know my dad loves me. And so that's a great book to read. It shifted how I viewed parenting and what I thought was important. Because, yeah, you don't want to go so far that you shield your kid from the world. But I think that's getting into the nitty-gritty of what I think a great dad is. It's somebody who truly does put their kid's best interest at heart and is there to support them emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially as well, doing the best you can and talking about these things, you know, when it's age appropriate, of course, but a great dad puts their family first. And I don't think there's any bigger privilege of a dad than to support their family. Look at all of the research on homes without fathers, the delinquency, the underage pregnancies, the school grades, the bad school grades. All of these are from a dad who isn't present, who isn't there. And I think it's different if the dad isn't present because he's out working 2 jobs, because that sends a message to the kids: you need to work hard. I'm here to support you. It shows love in a different way. But it's putting your family first. Like I said earlier, I want to show my son how a man should be in the world, and I want to show my daughter how a man should treat his wife and his family and others around them. Whoa, that was a bit deep. Passionate. I had to stop running to really get that in there. But if you're watching this video because you had doubts that you're a great dad, well, you're in one of 2 situations. One, you probably are a good dad, a great dad, because you have that awareness that you want to improve, and it's something you think about, and that's important to you. And number 2, if you're genuinely not a great dad right now, and you're watching this because you feel guilty, that guilt, that emotion is there because you want to make a change. And that emotion is only going to go away when you start working on it. And the powerful thing about this is, if you do start working on it and you do start changing, your kids are going to see the difference in the daily habits you have, and they will see how you change, and they will respond differently to the person that you become. And that is very powerful because they will understand how your habits can affect you, and the fact that even adults can change as people. And so being a great dad isn't about being perfect. Far from it. Nobody is perfect. And if somebody tells you they're perfect, they're a psychopath and a liar. Being a great dad is about reflecting on what you do, trying your best, and when you do fall short of your expectations and your definition of what a great dad is, and his reminder to define what a great dad is to you, to apologize to your kids and explain why. Not justify it, explain why. It's okay to make mistakes, and they can let me know what you think a great dad is. Let me know your definition below, because I'm open to what other people think as well. Because if I learn something new, if there's something you think applies that I haven't thought of, and then you tell me, that'll probably make me a better dad too. And I'm playing this game with you. But this is what I love. I've had countless clients tell me how much better their relationship is with their kids because of the conversations we have in our weekly check-ins, but also because of the people they become. They have more energy, so their kid falls off a bike, they can run over there straight away, pick them up, they're quicker, they carry the kids for as long as they want, and the kids just nuzzle into them. They get that little bit deeper connection. It's beautiful, man, absolutely beautiful. And if that's something you want, I can help you with that. So email me below. I've also got a free 4-week email course. You can go in that. Covers coaching and how you can help yourself. Day 6, done.